Sony, and he's going to give us a little bit of a talk. So I'm going to pass you over. Round of applause.
Okay, guys. Well, I've kind of like set in for someone else, so I won't keep you for long because I haven't really prepared anything. I'm just kind of like ad-libbing it, to be honest. But I thought I'd use this opportunity to explain what this random logo is across the room, because you won't have seen it before because I only launched it a week ago. But before that, yes, my proper job, I work for Sony Mobile, so it's kind of quite fitting that I'm here, obviously being an Android manufacturer, and it's great to hear nice things from the guys from Clove on our products. And from being here today, actually, what's really, really cool is actually seeing that in the UK, Sony Mobile have had loads of growth, all globally, and actually seeing how many more people are actually using Sony smartphones, which is absolutely fantastic, it really is. So I'm Sony Mobile's kind of pet nerd. You know, I've always been their geek, especially for the gaming stuff. You know, Sony have got some real great USPs on their devices. But I'm not going to bore you on them, but there's one particular that stands out, and that's with the kind of gamepad support, okay, which I'm showing off on the Joypad Jedi section. And when that's beneficial is, I mean, a few years ago, I don't know if any of you remember this, this legendary bit of kit. It was my favourite toy up until a few months ago. And it's still a great bit of kit, it really is. And that kind of like brought something new to Android. We were the first ones to really offer a true gamepad experience with Android. Okay, it wasn't a commercial success, we know that. Only a few small people, group of nerds like myself, Clarky in here and a few others I've been talking to. But it did start something new, and then Ice Cream Sandwich came along and there was native gamepad support. A few people tried dabbling with other little bits. Then we have the Ouya. Now we've got all kinds of stuff coming out. Amazon Fire TV has been announced in the US. That's got a gamepad support built in. And we're seeing more and more devices with gamepad support. And I mean, there's Kickstarter projects left, right, and bloody centre for Android consoles. And you know, it's pretty safe to assume that Android is going to step into the console market successfully at some stage. Who's that going to be? We don't know. I like to think it will be Sony, and they'll be the successful ones. However, I'm pretty sure PlayStation will have a thing to say about that and stop it from happening. But in the meantime, so there's this cool DualShock setup on the Xperia devices, this USB of our devices, that kind of got me thinking about discovering games. Now, unfortunately, we all love Android, we really do. There's one thing that isn't quite there with the video game experience, is finding games that are optimised for gamepads. So, for those of you who aren't gamers on Android, by the way, just to fill you in, basically there's loads of kind of games on Android where you've got everything from like Candy Crush, Angry Birds, all those kind of like touchscreen games. And then you've got some really cool high-end touchscreen games like Real Racing 3, which look almost just like PlayStation console titles. And some of them are optimised for gamepads, which is great, but there's no way of finding out how that is optimised and how the experience is. So then you've got various people around the world, like Mocha, is a gamepad, clip-on gamepad. I've got it over there on the demo stand. The Samsung have made their own clip-on gamepads. Then you've got the NVIDIA Shield, which is a whole console in one. Of course, you've got some other bespoke things here and there. So all these companies that are making these gamepads and consoles are kind of creating their own little mini stores, right? Which kind of lists all the games that are optimized for their gamepads to get that real console experience. So my website, okay, which I started up, Joypad Jedi, okay, is basically an online tool for finding these games and making it a whole lot easier. And that's what it is. There's going to be loads of social networking, loads of YouTube videos, and it's a nice, simple experience. So if you go to games, then it will list only games that are optimised for gamepads. There's no point in you putting Candy Crush on here. There's no point in you putting on those I was about to say silly touchscreen games. There's nothing wrong with touchscreen games, guys. I'm not going to alienate myself. But for real console experience, this website is where you'll be able to get it. So the best from people like Gameloft, from obviously Sony themselves, EA, all these kind of games. And then it tells you what device it actually is linked up to, so what it works with, whether it's Xperia Play, whether it's the universal platform, which is otherwise known as HID, Human Interface Device, or even the Ouya, Amazon TV, and it just makes it so much simpler and easier. And of course the hardware bit, yes, it's slightly biased towards Sony, but I'm not actually reviewing any tablets or smartphones themselves on here. Purely because, what's the point? There's so many of them. We all know how many different devices there are in the world. So think of this service, this kind of online tools you have generic tablet, smartphone, X, Y, Z, and then you clip it on to get this console experience and these games. So that is my new web tool, and that is, I just wanted to explain what my website is about. So Joypad Jedi is going to be the name for now, before I get sued by LucasArts somewhere down the line. It's probably going to happen. I'm quite excited for when that happens.
If you didn't get the big time when you get sued by the company.
Exactly. Be a good opportunity to have a curtain for, what's that awful Indiana Jones film?
Crystal Skull.
Good, we're all on the same page. Diabolical bullcrap. Sorry, we're in a religious building, I should watch my language. Okay, so that's the whole point of Joypad Jedi, guys. So obviously, in a move in the industry, obviously gaming, I know we're getting all excited with these smartware products and everything, and that's where the booming industry is. But I kind of feel that the gaming is the kind of the one that a lot of people are overlooking. You know, especially with Oya, again, wasn't exactly a commercial success, but with all these people trying, it will be a success. And I know that I myself, at my demo stand today, have had a big success with enthusiasm and interest because of actually how we play video games on our devices. Because, you know, it's great to spend some time, you know, playing Sonic the Hedgehog. Apologies for those of you who had to put up with the music today. That is my choice because I like to think actually the kind of retro games are the ones we enjoy the most. So, you know, it brings back many memories of my childhood anyway. So on the stand today, I have got a competition going if you haven't already taken part of it. So I've got a kind of Top Gear leaderboard system. Whoever can get the fastest time on classic Sonic the Hedgehog time trial. So, you know, imagine yourself as a Stig running around, doing loop-the-loops and everything else like that, doing donuts, and the top score will get the Z1 Compact today as well, which is my favourite device at the moment, my weapon of choice. And I've also got, over there as well as Clove, I've got the Z2 over, I've got the Z2 tablet as well, which is what we're running the competition from today, and a few other little bits as well, including the classic Xperia Play, if any of you want to go down memory lane. And a smartwatch 2 as well for runners-up. We've had lots of talk today about the smart wearables. I have got a smartwatch 2 to give away today as well for the runner-up prize. I haven't announced that until now, so even if you don't get first place, there's something for you. And thank you to Chloe for your very nice words about our smartwatch product. I do like it. It is beautiful.
Thanks
and thank you, Paul, for not slagging it off. So yeah, I am going to leave you on that. I just wanted to introduce you to my kind of online tool utility. I'm going to develop it in the next few years. It is my part-time thing, so obviously I've got a real job. But you know, it's something I'm really working towards, and I'm hoping one day it'll be big enough that LucasArts will see it. And if you do have any questions on gaming, you're more than welcome to come and ask me. However, I have this overwhelming feeling that this might be an opportunity for somebody to ask some Sony-related questions. So, if I open up the room, as we've done before, has anyone got anything they'd like to ask? And I'll put my Sony hat on and be professional. Yes, sir.
Sony accidentally tweeted the other day about Z2 compact. Did they realise they made that? Was that a deliberate mistake?
I'll be honest, I haven't seen that tweet. Yeah, there was no such thing as Z2 compact. Yeah.
Good try.
So, when it comes to the games, I'm the same as you. I really like the retro games. When it comes to Sony, I know that they've got the PlayStation Store. Do you know if they're still actively working on that when it comes to Android? Because I really want all the Final Fantasy games done through the PlayStation Store. Is that something that's going to? Are they still actively doing that?
So there's two things there. One, so us and PlayStation, we still have the PlayStation mobile environment. So if you've got a PlayStation certified smartphone or tablet, this enables you to go into the PlayStation Store using your Sony Entertainment Network ID and download mobile optimized kind of like versions of PlayStation content. So you won't get the original Final Fantasy games, but there are some Square Enix, Squaresoft games available on there. there is obviously a growing ecosystem of connectivity with PlayStation, which obviously, I'm sure some of you already know this, that earlier in the year PlayStation announced PlayStation Now, which is a cloud-based service for streaming PlayStation games, like the classics from PS1, PS2, PS3. So we should see that hopefully in the UK early next year on the Xperia devices.
And they're doing a lot of second screen stuff as well, aren't they?
Yes.
So
for those of you who haven't had a chance to play the Z2 yet, so the Z2 comes pre-installed with the PS4 Link app, which enables you to link directly to the PS4 and interact with games. So the idea being is that, let's say if you're playing a Call of Duty game, then on your second screen, your smartphone, you'll get like the map come up, and you'll be able to kind of like, do all the cool tactical stuff like, drop there, airstrike there, throw advances up, do that kind of stuff. But without having to use the joypad, so you kind of like pause, do all that stuff, and then go back in. I guess kind of what we see with the Nintendo Wii U in a way. So if someone, Watch Dogs is the big game that's coming out. So Watch Dogs is a game where it's kind of like a Grand Theft Auto type RPG action game. But then someone could be sitting there next to you with a tablet interacting with the game. They could be setting traps for the police, they could be controlling the CCTV cameras, so it's all very interactive, and that's included on the latest Sony hardware.
very cool.
It is very cool. I very much like it. So, is there any other questions?
What is your favourite joypad?
Oh, what's my favourite joypad? It's a good question. So obviously the PlayStation DualShock controller is actually my favourite pad, but where our website will be useful is that obviously if you're sitting there with the PlayStation pad and the phone, you've only got one hand. So I'm a big fan of the Moga pads because of the clip-on connectivity. And you can see it because I've got it on the stand, is the Moga Hero Pocket. So it has an integrated battery, so when you're playing games, it actually charges your phone as well, which is really cool. So think of it as one of those little external battery packs and a gamepad in one. And it's quite neat. As I said, my favourite phone is the Z1 Compact. Probably to do with the fact I'm a bit of a midget, so it fits nicely in my midget-sized pockets. So having a smaller compact pad actually goes with it really well. You can see it on the stand, but that is my favourite pad, for sure. Anyone else?
Yeah, have you had any experience with OnLive, the streaming?
Yeah.
Is that anything that they're doing else? Because I had it when it first found out.
Me too.
But there's nothing kind of new about that anymore. Or I'm not hearing anything about that.
No, it's gone very cold with OnLive. For those of you who don't know what OnLive is, just to kind of fill you in, OnLive is another kind of like emerging platform where instead of playing the video game on the device, you're streaming it. So just like you stream movies from Netflix, you stream the video games, and then when you jump or move, it sends those signals to the processor and it comes back and you just see the video feed. So ultimately, even if you're running a dual core device or single core device, if they're still available, then you'll be able to run PS3, PS4 type graphics. But on that, obviously, PlayStation Now is the Sony equivalent of OnLive, which was Gaikai up until earlier this year, I believe, or late last year. I can't remember my years anymore. It's all merging into one. Right, anyone else?
How long do you think it will be until sort of Android graphics sort of catch up to console graphics ahead of it?
I think it already has, to be honest. If you see some of the games we've got running down there, it already has. Yes, consoles and PCs, yes, before you get angry, you PC gamer. Obviously, the dedicated consoles will always be better, they'll always be more advanced. But, obviously, mobile has caught up in what we play. I mean, for example, even at the age of 29, I'm still playing Sonic the Hedgehog and Super Mario, and I'm quite happy playing them. Yes, we get these stunning great games like, what's not on playing at the moment? Obviously, like Infamous Second Son on the PS4, you will not be able to get that experience on a smartphone, but you will be able to get something similar on the smartphone, which will be just as enjoyable. So I think it has already caught up, but kind of counter-arguing my own quote, it will never be the same. Of course, and I'm sure you will be able to vouch for that, having graphics cards as big as my head in your PC, probably.
Twice the size.
Twice the size. Awesome, guys. So, was there anyone else? Let me see. Good. It's very, very cold up here.
Yeah. A round of applause, Tom. Thank you very much.